What's up? What you talking about? Yo, indeed. ABCD560. Welcome. Felicia. Kanabuda, how are you? ESPN is in the house. Welcome to Simulation Talk 137. How are you, Sofa King? Casey, how are you, brother? What's up, Nash Vegas? Good evening. Breezy saying orbs and drones. Sofa King, awesome. I'm doing amazing. Thank you for asking, Casey. Welcome everybody on TikTok as well. The channel that is now officially stuck at D. It is now moving from ranking D. And again, I don't actually care about the ranking that much. What I do care about is understanding how things work. And it drives me insane that it's not moving from that. And I don't at this point, I'm not even sure it has anything to do with what the chat is doing. What's up, Gustavo? Good to see you. Hope all the members got the invite to the Zoom call on Wednesday. Smiley Brain is in the house. How are you? Snake Charmer. How are you, Camille Bell? Another movie. All right. Hello from Panama City Beach. Where can I get the lasers you have? You can go to codeofreality.com and you can find the lasers there. I'll put it right there. Codeofreality.com. Should probably put it also on the YouTube channel, as you can see it on the screen. There you can find the lasers, the protocol, and many other fun things. And we're working on a new website now that's going to be a lot more expensive. And when I'm saying we, again, I really mean Irv. He is the whiz behind all the technical stuff at the moment. And man, I'm so grateful for him. Irv, if you're there, love you, man. I mean, at this point for me, it's kind of hard to focus on all the stuff that needs to be done. So the fact that there's somebody who's really good at the technical stuff, all I can do is be deeply grateful for it. Casey's jumping also on TikTok. Nice, I got a pretty wide one from eBay. Perfect. I've been watching for several days, very intriguing stuff. I can't get anyone to listen to me either. I'm not sure that nobody's listening to me, if that's what you mean. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are paying attention at this point. What is it that you're trying to say that you feel that nobody's listening to? Awesome, Breezy. Appreciate you. No, Gustavo, you definitely got the Zoom invite. Check out an email. Maybe it went to your spam. It should have come from my Zoom email, which is dango.goler. Look up for dango.goler@gmail.com in your inbox in your email. If you still don't see it, let me know. I'll make sure that I'll resend it. But I definitely sent you one. Are you the guy that was discussing how we live in a simulation the other day? Yes. And many other days. Thank you for asking. Welcome to Simulation Talk 137, the channel that usually revolves around the simulation hypothesis. My name is Danny, and I'm claiming, yes, that I've found proof that we live in a simulation, and we meet here every single day to discuss the topic, the experiment, as well as science in general, religion, spirituality, philosophy, God, whatever comes to mind. If you want the longer format videos of my content, it will be on YouTube on Dango Thoughts, Dango Thoughts. And I've also added a members program, which allows people to, like now, get Zoom calls with the group members of the group. And well, what else? Private Zoom calls, depending on the tier of the membership, as well as blah, blah. Today my mouth is not doing what my brain is asking it to do, or not on time. Let's take it again. Get Zoom calls with the group members, as well as private Zoom calls, depending on the tier of the membership, as well as early access to content that I'm releasing on my channel, and a lot of new fun surprises and perks that I'm working on, including some private stuff from my life that I will not be releasing anywhere else but on the YouTube membership program. So check it out, because it definitely helps me focus on this project more full time. And I deeply, deeply appreciate all the people that already signed up to the membership. I'm trying to do everything that I possibly can to, of course, make most of the information available to everybody. But in order for me to sustain this, whatever this is, the project, I definitely need to be able to focus on it more full time. So anybody who's signing up for the membership program, I deeply appreciate you. It helps a lot. And if not, that's okay. You can always come here every single day and we'll discuss here most topics. Oh, we also do a weekly membership live aside from the daily live that we're doing here. Welcome everybody across platforms on TikTok and YouTube and X and Twitch. Appreciate you all. What did the entity show you how everything works? I did. Daniel, do you mean when? Your question reads, what did the entity show you how everything works? Or you mean like, what is it that they showed me? And yeah, Joe Rogan talked about it with, he tried to raise it with Rick Strassman, and Strassman jumped off the topic very quickly. I guess we'll find out why very soon. All right, Gustavo, then I'll send it to you again. If you don't mind, Gustavo, just to make sure that we don't miss each other, email me right now. Just say Gustavo in the title. Gustavo didn't get Zoom invite. Put it in the title, and then I'll reply with the Zoom meeting. Gavin, how are you, brother? Good to see you. Gavin and I have been talking a little bit. We just make sure that we're not missing anybody. Amazing. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. No, I understand. So please email me, Gustavo, just so we make sure that you don't miss it. So again, email me right now, and in the title, put Gustavo didn't get a Zoom invite, and I'll make sure and send it to you after we're done. Exactly. If you're enjoying the live, smash the like button. The algorithms love that, and I would deeply appreciate it. It definitely helps. If you're on TikTok or YouTube or Twitch or X, any like helps. John Pilgrim is saying, I need to get my mind off these damn drones. I've been fixating on it. Yeah, I always say try and focus less on what scares you and focus more on things that you love. This is the better focus, and it will lead to a better outcome in general. Not sure if I'm supposed to hear, but here I am. Sounds like life. Good day from Cape Town. Good day indeed. Glad to see that we have listeners from all over the world. How did I get started with all this? Great question. This is why we're shooting a movie about it, because it's a long story. It took me years to figure this out. And there was a lot of twists and turns, and the movie is going to be dealing with that. You can watch the trailer. I'm sure most of you did. I always recommend to watch it on YouTube just because it's the full version and it's vertical the way that it was intended to be. Sorry, it's horizontal the way it was intended to be. Thank you for the likes, guys. So if you go to Dango Thoughts, Dango Thoughts, you can watch the trailer of the film. And when the movie comes out in 8 months, All the details will be there, plus a lot of other fun things that we will be including in the film. Nico, how are you, brother? So good to see you. Trish, thank you for all the likes. Appreciate you. Missed a few days. No, there's no need for a recap because I also didn't jump on live. I did one membership live, but there was no live for the regular lives just because I was visiting a friend, and there was simply not enough time in the day to also do a daily live. So we skipped 3 days. Thank you, Trish. Appreciate you. So nothing to recap. I was thinking today, what if the simulation is better than true life? What's up, Greg? Good to see you. Bro, Gustavo, are you all right? Are you on substances? Are you on any good ones? Gustavo, hello. Can you hear me? I'm saying email me, email me with the title Gustavo did not receive Zoom invite. I will then, after this live, email you back with the invite. Sofa King is saying, I was thinking today, what if the simulation is better than true life? Well, simulation is true life. There is no base reality. The whole world is computational at bottom, all the way through. There's nothing that isn't computational. There is no base reality, so to speak. In fact, in that context, computation just means parallel worlds. And it's exactly what it is. But the nature of it is computational, and that difference matters. So there is no escaping the simulation. There is no outside of the simulation. There's just the computational world that it is. And we are a tiny slice off of that larger space. I'm fascinated about your work. Where do you think the research will take you? Only God knows. I really don't know. But all I can do is follow what feels right. And that's what we're doing. We'll find out. Who built us? Their name is George. Accepting all that is exactly correct. Not sure how to say it. I mean, it's a difficult question. Who built us? Because it requires understanding of that space. It requires some mapping, and that's a broad topic. It's a good question, but the truth about the answer is a tad more complicated than a few words that I can say on the live. I think the movie will be approaching that more in depth, but it is a very good question. We are galactic transformers. Kind of. We are universal explainers and constructors. That's a more accurate way of putting it. Is the code you see related to the symbols that Alison Gray painted along with her husband, Alex Gray? They have seen it in psychedelic states. I have seen this, but not sure if it's the same as the code. What question, Dorian? No, they are different symbols. They do not look like the Alison Gray characters. Even though some people, including Casey here, who sometimes does the experiment live, says that something on the surface kind of resembles to him the Alison Gray characters. I've never seen them. It looks more closer to Japanese katakana, but it's not Japanese. It is not that language. Kind of resembles, but not that for sure. So no, it does not look like the Alison Gray characters. We are the programmers. We just need to remember our code. So it seems that that is not the case. I know that a lot of people in the spiritual circles like to believe that it's all just us. It seems to be incorrect. It is not us. Now, I'm not sure. It seems that a lot of people take something away for them. And of course, I can't, everybody are going to believe what they're going to believe until proven otherwise. And I'm not trying to take away anything from anyone. But from what I'm observing, it is incorrect. It is not that we've created ourselves. Somebody actually created us, or created the environment from which we arose, to be more accurate. So in that sense, we kind of We came to be from the same natural process, through the same natural processes that we imagined we have, if we have a secular worldview. It's just that the underpinnings of what we would call the laws of physics are computational, and these were set in place by a more advanced civilization. So, excuse me, there's a few steps along the way, and I'm aware of the big wave of people that are convinced that it's all just us and there's nothing but us and there's nothing but me. I feel like it's a modern trend, and I am aware that I'm swimming against that current, but I can put a hard false on that one. That is not correct. There are other species, absolutely. They're absolutely not us, and they are, and some of them are doing maintenance on this layer. Some of them are responsible for co-creating this, what we will call physical layer. And yes, whatever we are inside, we are co-creators of whatever is happening in the environment. But it is not true that we are the sole creators of every single moment of what happens. Or at least that's what I'm putting on the table. Casey's waiting when I am. I mean, by all means, but today I'm going to be rambling more. So, am I a theologian? I think the furthest thing from it. We are the original AI. Yeah, it seems like I have a video on YouTube. Actually, it's here on TikTok as well. But again, I always recommend YouTube. It's actually the one when you enter the page. That's the first video in the title. It's called "Are We AGI?" and it deals with exactly that. That it seems that we're about to find out that this AGI that we're sort of scared of is actually us. We are that AGI, but we're embedded in a larger AGI. Oh, I might have misunderstood you, El Charos. It's very, very possible. Dimensional reality 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D, 9D, 10D, 11D, 12D, 13D, 15D. You can go on forever this way. Where'd I come up with George from? I don't know. Ooh, Casey's coming along. Everybody, welcome Casey. Casey is in the habit of doing some of these experiments live, and people seem to love that. How are you doing, brother?
Super good. How are you?
I'm doing amazing.
Let me turn this fan off. Maybe that's
Also, want to voice in advance, I'm aware that today I have a little bit of a resigned mood. I want to make sure that it doesn't slide into jadedness. I think my brain is a little tired, but I'm very happy to be here. So hopefully nobody takes this as my slight resignation as jadedness. It isn't. I think I just don't have that much energy to be too expressive. But inside, I feel very warm and fuzzy, and I'm happy to be here. So if it doesn't shine through, I'm gonna voice it conceptually. Yeah, it is a random name just out there. Sometimes I make jokes. George is not the creator of this universe. Awesome, Gustavo. You'll get an email back the second that I'm off the live. Is the person who wrote the code from the fifth dimension? I don't know. I do not make claims to know which dimensions are the one operating that gives rise to our dimensions. I'm not sure that anybody can. Maybe people can, and I'm just not aware how. I'm highly suspect when people started getting this specific about their understanding of these operational levels. I don't see how they can possibly know the specifics of the number of dimensions from which beings are coming from, especially considering the fact that when most of the individuals who make these claims, when you ask them what the dimension is, they don't really know what that means. So that's where I stand on that. As far as the relevance of the higher operational levels, I think that we are a four-dimensional hologram projected through a three-dimensional sheet. So the holographic principle states that we are three-dimensional hologram projected from a two-dimensional sheet, according to Leonard Susskind. I think we're a three-dimensional hologram. Sorry, four-dimensional hologram projected from a three-dimensional sheet, which is space-time. And Pitar Ivanov, is it Peter or basically? But how do you pronounce that? Pitar. In any case, thank you for the comment. He's saying, I know about the codes. Sometimes I see them randomly. Just that is literally the most common message I get. And this is not to belittle it by no means. It's just to say that I know a lot of people see codes, both without the molecule and without the laser. But usually when I drill down to it, these are different codes. And that's actually an important distinction. Because it doesn't mean they're not real. It's just that they are closer usually to what we are as a conscious being, because they can be changed with our attention. There's some attributes to it that are closer to kind of like what we would expect codes that are closer to our conscious awareness to be. The code in the laser seems to be different in that you can't influence it in any way, shape, or form. Doesn't matter your mood, doesn't matter your state, doesn't matter the surface, doesn't matter the sound, doesn't matter anything so far. I'm trying to see if we can induce some change to it, and it seems the magnets do the trick, but it seems that this code belongs to a more objective family of things, which makes it a little bit different. But it's part of a larger tapestry of codes, and I've now of the understanding that these codes are everywhere. They're just different layers of them. So that's still a very, very important data point. Thank you for sharing that. YouTube link for what, El Charos? If you want to visit my YouTube channel, it's Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts, and or you can just follow the link tree in my profile on TikTok. And literally the first video that pops up in the title, that's the Are We AGI? All hail George. Now that's a t-shirt right now. All hail George sounds like something from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or from Monty Python. Only showing one like on my side, and that's me. YouTube, there's only one like? I don't like that. You guys are not representing. Again, anybody here that is members, hey Ann, thank you so much for the email. I'm now officially on December, almost at December 5th. Sorry, today I will be finishing with December 5th by the end of the day with all my emails. I was so backed up with emails, it was crazy. I had emails from October. I'm finally on, I think, December 1st or 2nd now, and today I will finish till December 5th. So your email, if you're a member, might still be within the group that sent the email later, and therefore maybe I didn't add you to the program, unless you put, like I asked, new member as the first two words, because a lot of times what happens is I see people do the members, they put the email and they write something else and then they put new member. The reason I'm asking to write new member first before you put anything else is because I have a split box that recognizes these two words as first, and then it puts you in a separate split email, and then I can find you immediately without searching through all the emails. So unless you've done exactly that, that would be the reason as to why you have not received the invite. Or I might have missed it. That's also possible. If you're here right now and you're a member and you want the invite to the Zoom, please email me right now with, well, at this point, just your name or the handle, and then did not receive a Zoom call. Because right after the live, I'm going to go through all the latest emails and make sure that we don't have any members that didn't get any Zoom invites. And by next time, hopefully everybody are going to be there either way, but I'm going to try and nail everybody down by this time. So again, if you're here as a member and you didn't get an invite to the Zoom call, also look through your spam, because it's possible that it sent it to your spam. It's to a different email of mine, to dango.goler. But again, email me now with the fact that you didn't get a Zoom call in the title, and I will make sure that it's sent to you right after the live. Thank you for that, guys. That is as a response to you, Owl. Okay, let me go through some of the YouTube comments. Could the universe be seen as higher dimension programming that takes the form of three dimensions? Yes. Do the molecule entities got any hair or their parts? There's a lot of different kinds. They're different species. The ones that seem to be operating on the level of management company of our layer, they're actually insects. So no, they don't have any hair. Lindsay, same thing. If you're a member on YouTube and you didn't get an invite, check your spam. But either way, also email me right now with your name and then didn't get a Zoom invite, and I'll make sure right after the live that you get the invite if you didn't get one already. Oh, usually new members, what I'm asking to send you, I'm going to put it as the instructions for the new members from now on YouTube. Let me put it in my notes so I don't forget. And I'm going to give you the instructions in one moment. So usually when a new member joins, I'm going to put it in the instructions on YouTube. That's on me. The first two words should be new member in the email title. And that way it automatically splits it and I can just find you automatically. You got it, Lindsay. Excited to see you. How much of the code have I copied down? I've been commenting about it a lot. Visionary vibes. There is no way to copy it with any like it's not like you can kind of remember. There's just too much information. But you can watch in the trailer. We have the language kind of written in a note in the beginning of the trailer. We'll meet at the restaurant at the end of the universe. I'm actually kind of blown away that there is no restaurant till this day that's called the restaurant at the end of the universe, because it would do really well. Maybe a good business opportunity eventually to open one. Even though restaurants are one of the toughest businesses there are. Yes, green laser works as well, Rendell. What if you look at the laser in the reflection of the mirror? Then you will get a laser into your eye. So don't do it. Do you think the universe, wait, what? Do you think universe is dono? I don't know what that means. I was in the, wait, what? You were in the bathroom and didn't hear me. That's hilarious. You don't need to send me many emails, Gustavo. It's okay. Like I know that with you I know because I know who you are, and but if people, I will put that as instructions for new members. It's on me that I didn't put it yet, so that's my bad. Oh, I know that you were referring to the Hitchhiker's Guide. That's exactly why I'm saying that I'm surprised that it's not a real place yet. That nobody opened a restaurant that's called that. Do you think the universe runs on a simple binary go, no-go system, or do you think it's more complex than that? I think originally it is binary, but it expresses itself in a much more complex way. It's quantum at base. There is no base reality, according to me, Art, so there is nothing to search. Wherever you are, that's reality. I know it might be disappointing, but with all of that, but the truth is that your existence is exactly where you need to be. What occurs after we die? Well, I think your information is being reshuffled and some crucial components are saved. And I guess you can call that your soul. And then it proceeds to the next iteration. Do I think doing the molecule often can have negative effects? I mean, that's a difficult question because it depends on a lot of other factors. If it prevents you from doing anything else, yes. If it's something that adds to your experience and to your understanding of the world, then no. Have you experienced Salvia as a similar place? Yeah. So it's definitely not a similar place to me. Salvia. I can't name of molecules because of TikTok. Um, from my experience with it, it's definitely not the same. It has a lot of power. I'm not a big fan. Some people swear by it. I'm not a fan. Yep, I would second that, suffocating. We create ourselves partially, but we're not the main creators. We're co-creators. Do we get to choose if we go to another life? No. I think the reincarnation thing is almost automatic. If you want to get out of the karmic cycle, I think the Buddha was on the money. That there's some work to be done, and you can detach yourself, but you have to start by practicing detaching yourself during a lifetime, and most people are not willing to do that. And Anon is asking, do we do the pinhole experiment yet? No, not yet. Mia's wave. Could be a message that needs to be decoded to continue the simulation. The simulation does not stop because we know or don't know about it. It's always there. Swimming right along my side. Thank you, Mikhail. I appreciate you. Matrix is proof of a creator. Sure, but not of supernatural. I'm going to try and go through some of the comments quickly because there's a lot of them. I appreciate you guys. Good to see that there's a lot of people that are joining. Also through X and Twitch and YouTube. Break thoughts. What does that mean? Crypto Kush is saying this topic has reignited my interest in the molecule world. Thank you. They're calling for my return. I love that. I love that. It's very epic. Calling for my return. It's beautiful. What is the most interesting thing you have learned to date? For me, so far, that God does not know why everything exists. That's the most interesting thing that I've learned to date. You're allowed to be resigned some days. This is a lot of work you're doing. Appreciate you, Owl. Yeah, I can always do better, but I'm aware of it, so hopefully nobody gets offended. I don't like when people, I really do appreciate everybody being here. It's beautiful that people decide to spend their time. And if, if the creator is there to the capacity that they are, and they're just like, they're like, all right, let's get on with this. Let's get through this. I mean, what's the point of even doing it, right? If I'm in that state, I don't even go into live because I don't want, that's not fair to anyone. So inside, I don't feel that, but I'm noticing that as I'm speaking, I have a very kind of like almost like, you know, tongue in cheek. Everything is kind of like a little bit, what's the word? There's not as much um, all-encompassing love in me as in let's say other days, and I'm aware of that. But I feel very happy to be here and that people are here. So I want to make sure that whatever this is that is coming through doesn't feel like I don't care, because I do. So I guess I had to say it with words, but thank you. Thank you, Crypto Kush. Art Mandalay is asking, are you sure about what? I had multiple chances to do it and one time, and now I wish I would have. It's okay. It will come. If it's the right time, it will come. You excuse me, guys, if I'm skipping some comments, just because some of them are pretty, like I've answered them a few times. So I'm going to try and get to ones that we haven't answered for a while or never answered before. Can we have the telephone number of the person that wrote the code? Yes, it's 555-5555-5555. It is not the speckle, and I assure you. I'm not going to get into the details of that because I did a whole video on that, but it is definitely not the speckle. What? That's a great question. Cloud English is saying, what would Wolfram say if he saw the laser? Well, I think he would say we're looking at the Ruliad. And anybody who's familiar with Wolfram's work will understand what I'm saying, and I think that's what we're looking at. Is the code binary? No. It is not. It doesn't seem to be binary. There's a whole tapestry in there. The fourth dimension is time. Perhaps you mean the fifth dimension, so you're saying we're fourth dimensional beings. No, I'm actually saying exactly what I'm saying, and the fourth dimension is time, and it is as implied as the third dimension on a two-dimensional sheet in a hologram. If you look on a hologram, the third dimension that you see in there, so the illusion of the three dimensions, is just that. It's an implied element that is not actually in the sheet. The sheet is two-dimensional. Now, yes, it's three-dimensional ultimately because there's a little bit of thickness to it, but there's no three-dimensional operational freedom to whatever information is embedded on the sheet. In the same way, I'm claiming that we are four-dimensional and one of them is time. Time is implied. It's not real. This is why we cannot move through time. We can only move through time in the direction that it is implied. Just like when you're looking at the two-dimensional sheet, the third dimension is implied, but you can never actually grab or do anything with that implied third degree of freedom. In the same way, you cannot do anything with this implied fourth degree of freedom of time. So that's exactly what I mean. And the sheet on which you projected is space-time, which is three-dimensional. So it's exactly that. And I would even go as far as to say that, also it's further complicated by the fact that in the case of a hologram, we are an external observer looking at a hologram, but in our case, we are the hologram. So that does introduces some complications, which needs to be worked out. Do you think God wants people to worship them? It's a long topic. We can open it on the Zoom call. And we are learning, indeed. We all appreciate you and keep up the wonderful work you are doing. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate you. And I agree there are no coincidences. El Charo Sa. What do I think of the back rooms? You have to give me a little bit more information on that. You mean like behind the scenes, the machines themselves? Charlotte Milazzo is saying, if you type out a string of code you see into AI, what happens? What do you mean? I've entered lines of dashes and dots into various AI programs and got some very, very odd messages. Okay, what kind of messages? What did it say? I mean, I'm pretty sure that also the AI thought that it's an odd message that you're giving in dashes and dots. So maybe it's just mirroring the odd behavior back to you. On the surface of your retina, at the cellular road cone level, you're experiencing quantum interference pattern from the laser. As far as I can tell, the community has never mentioned this. This was one of the first rebuttals that people tried to come up with years ago when I just came with it. Experientially, I honestly, I don't know how anybody can think that this big of a conviction for such a big slice of the population, including very smart people, I don't know how anybody can think that what they're confused about is the speckle effect. I will never understand that. How somebody can think that. The speckle effect is so clearly not real, right? It's so clearly not real. Like when you see the speckle effect, you know right away this is some kind of an illusion, right? The code just doesn't belong to the same family of things at all. But again, one has to kind of see it to understand. The good news is that anybody can. See, this is the thing. People used to make a lot of very outlandish claims, and to cash out what people were saying, one needed to do something crazy. Go to an ashram, spend 20 years, I don't know, pay for a lot of money for a course of some sort, something. Um, I'm literally giving you a method. I don't know if you've done it before, Enan, Yemos. I'm not sure to pronounce it. You can correct me. But that's the beauty. Anybody can do it like that. No problem. Have you spoken to the molecule entities about the UFOs and aliens? They are the aliens, and also I'm not really sure what the UAPs are in the context of all this, because I never seen any mention of this in the molecule space. It doesn't mean they're not real. I think they are. I just don't know what they are. How you doing, Van Dweller? Those drones orbs. Awesome, Mikhail. You can just find the laser on the website, or you can order it from Alibaba or Amazon. Just copy the specs. Thank you, Cami. Wow, there's so many comments. I mean, it's great. Thank you. Listen to Liz Crockin's latest interview with Juliet. I don't know who any of these people are. Liz Crockin's? Who are these people? Needless to say, no, I haven't listened. What is time in this context? Time is an implied degree of freedom that doesn't actually exist. Actual time happens through computational steps in a particular density of information. And it actually has very technical definitions. This is something that I ran by a physicist, and they agreed very strongly that must be how time must be expressed on its most fundamental level. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of differences of opinion inside the physics community, but at least a few physicists that I know definitely corroborated that this is a very coherent way of looking at it. Different color lasers work, yes. Just make sure that it's always 5 milliwatts, and usually with any other frequency than 615 nanometer, any other wavelength than red, it would be a higher frequency and therefore would be harder to stay with it for longer because the higher frequency makes it harder to actually stare at the light, even if it's bouncing off another surface. Exactly, Mikael. 555-5555-5555-5542. That's the exact number. The code is not binary, no. Oh, we have some comments from Charlotte. Let's see. It started because I saw Drone linking what I thought looked like Morse code. So I typed dash and dot, and it asked me if it was typing Morse code. I kept asking if it had deeper meaning, and I got love is the answer forever and always. I mean, sure, but you realize that there's so much flimsiness in this, right? That in the end of the day, it's not magic. But even though I believe that LLMs might have more properties to them than we realize, in the end of the day, they're just kind of mimicking the largest possible sample rate of what humanity would answer you as a whole. So I wouldn't find that meaningful, even though it's a beautiful message, of course. But if we're talking in the spirit of true discoveries, that would not hold a lot of water for me. But the message is correct. You should focus on love and things that you love and open your heart. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Would you draw any thread behind this dimensional code and the concept behind language, symbol, and myth? If I understood your question, Afro, swayed. Sorry, I'm both dyslexic and I don't know how to read this word. So you can correct me. But if I understand your question correctly, all symbolic representation that aims to represent some actual function is code, the human language included. All of it is code. Yes, I find it weird as heck to give that answer to. I don't find it weird because ChatGPT also understands humor, how humans use humor. So if you type something like that, like dashes, it might think, "Oh, you're just playing a game. Let me play back." So it will give you some kind of a deep meaning because it knows that very often what people would do, and this is an often thing, when you play, they would present an answer from a different category that seems to be so different and yet might be related to something universal that most people would appreciate, which is messages of the flavor, open your heart, all of that stuff, right? Because most humans would agree that's a really good universal good message. So when you present it with something that it doesn't know what you want from it, it might play a game and give you an answer that is very universal and very well encompassing. So it makes perfect sense to me that that's what it would do. Oh yeah. That's what I think is actually happening there. Like try and play with it, like in like not just like just toy with it and like try and invoke sense of humor from it. It's pretty good at that. Yeah, baby, of course. We are ninth dimensional beings becoming 10th. Damn, you made out of 9 dimensions. That's incredible. I'm not saying the code is the speckle. I'm saying that it induces your experience, as there's an easy test to that could enlarge your vision of the code if you would try the pinhole experiment. You might be right. There's a lot of experiments coming. There's just too many of them to try all at once. Very not binary, exactly. Yes, we are more than binary. Yes, we're nine dimensional. Have you noticed any parts of the code that repeat itself? It seems to be pretty repeatable in most cases, but it's very hard to say because there's so much going on in there. Do you feel time had sped up in the recent 1 year? Yes, but then again, it is also true that most people report a speeding up of time when they grow older, even before technology evolved. So you might want to take that into account. What other species, and that's usually due to the fact that everything is kind of predictable. Like you know what will happen. There's not too many things that surprise you at this point. One second. Maybe I know you trying to just get the best experience. What other species are you aware who are aware of the molecule world as a simulator of this world? There are quite a few on the layers right above us and a little bit above that. I'm aware of the machine insectoids, who seem to be the management company of this layer. Yes, we're managed by insects. And there's also the amphibian lizard ones. There's the what people would call the jester, but they are kind of in between the layers, so they can jump between all the levels. They're one of the most powerful beings, from what I understand. And who else? Oh, I've seen regular people, that was actually the most surprising thing to me. Like straight up regular people, like you and me. And it seems that maybe they are human beings from parallel universes who already figured out a way into that more universal economy, and they work there. Like they just, like literally, I saw them do things like check systems and things like this, like regular people. I think we're about to join them, basically. My experience with Coca-Cola together with the molecule was phenomenal. I mean, that's a first. I've never heard this before, and I love it. What's up, Ben? How you doing, brother? Always good to see you. Ben the man. Alien graffiti or coder Easter eggs. How many different characters do you estimate make up the code? No idea. Have you learned the purpose of the console? Not yet. Any thoughts on Rupert Sheldrake's morphic resonance? I think it's correct. Happenstance with parameters in place. Not sure what that means. What if us breaking the code makes the code disappear? What then? Or what if it is just randomly can seem quantum any one day? I mean, that's a lot of maybes. So I'm not sure what to say to that. What if you step outside and a really giant hawk is trying to attack you? I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of what ifs. I'm not in the habit of entertaining every possible possibility, especially not one that raises concern for no reason. Have you found any methods that can change the code? Not yet. Well, we know that magnets influence it, or at least we can see the difference in the light in a way that makes us understand that the code is there, because when it hits the magnet, it scrambles it. That's the only thing so far. What did I have for dinner? A babka cake. No, I'm kidding. What did I eat for dinner? Oh, I forgot. We went to eat pho. Thanks for the question. Hey, Danny, do you ever experience a flow state where insightful information just comes through your thoughts with little effort? Usually happens when happens with me when I smoke cannabis. Yeah, so I don't know if you know, but there's the flow state is actually a technical term, and it has a very particular brain state associated with it that you can actually see on an fMRI. Oh no, I think only with EEG. I'm not sure. Kelsey will probably know, but it's an actual, like, it's not like a hypothetical state. It's an actual known technical state of the brain, and there are ways to get into it. Stephen Kotler is a writer who specializes in writing about these things, and he, books like The Rise of Superman, and all his books basically talk about how to enter the state of flow, what it is, and this term was coined by, let's see if I can nail his name, Michalis Csikszentmihalyi. That's the person who discovered that that's a real state and coined that term. So yes, it does happen to me sometimes, but it's a known thing. With cannabis, it's actually not the flow state, just so you know. It is an illusion of the flow state, exemplified by the fact that for the most part, the information stays locked in. In the flow state, the information becomes part of whatever you're doing. So you kind of become the task. This is why athletes, and in particular, extreme athletes, so like extreme sports, tend to hack the state of flow much easier, because when real danger is involved, the brain almost automatically jumps to flow for self-preservation, because in that state, there's no more thinking, there's just the task. That's flow. And that can be entered without all the physical activity, that can be entered through meditation. But usually, what did we say? They flagged us for some reason. I don't even know what we said. I have no idea what we said. They flagged us, but it's TikTok for you. Keep it up, TikTok, and we're going to stop using you. And what I wanted to say is that I said the C word. See, I can't say these words. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's legal. It's legal in so many states, and you can't say it. We're supposed to say green. We're not supposed to say that word. That's why we got flagged. That's insane. In any case, when you use green, Jesus, dude, it's annoying. It's so annoying. We live like a nanny state. It's crazy. So when we use green, what happens is you get a glimpse of being closer to the flow of information inside of your meaning tapestry, which is closer to your body. But what happens in an actual state of flow, you also have all the channels that are putting the information out. In other words, speech, action, all of these things, it's all aligned. Usually, not for everybody, but usually with the green, you feel it and you see it. But if I asked you to describe it to me, you start rambling, because that machinery is not fully aligned. So that's actually not flow for the most part. For some people, it might be. And also, it really depends on so don't get all worked up if for you it really is. It's just that for the most part, it isn't for most people. And even if for you it is, it's very possible. And also, it really depends on dose. So like if you do too much of it, obviously it just takes you out of commission. A certain amount for musicians, it is true that a little bit can really get you into flow pretty easy. But there's something about playing music that requires a little bit less of the sharpness of the cognitive function, especially when musicians are already very well trained, because it's like second nature. But real flow should allow you to do tasks that you're not even that familiar with better, even though it is always favoring the tasks that you are actually already good at, that are like second nature. Anyways. The interview with Liz Cocken is about I'm not even sure we're supposed to say that name now. EPSTEIN, survivor, and the claim that, again, that person knew something bad would happen to this world in 2020. He predicted it back in 1990. Okay. Something bad always happens. It's just the nature of the game. I think the focus on the good things is where we want to be. I've tried to tell you about this for months now. Every time I mention the speckle effect, you think I'm trying to debunk, or I'm trying to help you with something you overlooked. I appreciate you, Anon, but and I hope that it's not too frustrating for you, but please understand the amount of information that comes in my way every single day It's not something that I'm used to yet. There's just too much of it, and I can't engage with it unless I do something about it now, because I'm not at the moment engaging with any experimentation. But this chapter of the project will start soon. Then I'm going to start testing all of these things, and then I'll be able to engage with this information. The way that my brain works in general is that if you tell me something that I cannot do something about now, my brain just ignores it. It's an energy preserving mechanism. I can't engage with it because there's already so much going on, and I can't upload any more information. I'm fully saturated. So I have all the ideas I can possibly entertain. Now it's just a matter of action. So unless I can take action on it, my brain will not remember it. And yeah, when I see the words the speckle effect, my first thing that my brain does is that it thinks, oh, you're trying to debunk it, which is, and we can obviously in moments like these, I think that after this little interaction, I'll obviously remember that that's not what you're doing. But overall, I hope you understand, because there's literally hundreds of people I'm interacting with every single day. And there is a limit to how much I can retain and remember who is whom and who's saying what and in what direction and what they're trying to say. And I'm reading a lot of comments at once. I am actually dyslexic. I'm not kidding. So for me, reading is actually very difficult. It's a lot of effort. So usually what I do is I just scan the text, and very often a lot of information will be lost. So I hope you don't take this personally, and it is not that because I'm ignoring you. I understand that you're trying to help, but I've absorbed everything I could absorb. Now it's a matter of actuating it. So unless I'm doing something about it, I will not remember it. I think everybody's brain is this way. When you get to a certain capacity of information, you literally can't take it anymore. So your brain just goes like, I don't know. Like email. Okay, people email me every day with so many different ideas, and some of them are incredible ideas. Truly, I can't. It's not that I want to. I can't. I can't. I can't interact with all of it. I can't. I have to be able to do something about it. So I promise soon, when I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to start actually doing the experiments, it's going to be much easier for me to engage with these practical ideas about things. So again, I hope you don't take this personally. I just love when people tell us things. I know. As in, you must believe me. So what I understand what Anna is saying is saying that if the code is real, when you're looking through the pinhole, what would prove if it's real or it's not real, if it's going to be enlarged to the pinhole, it should appear bigger. I understand what you're saying. Again, I hope you don't take this personally. It's just that I literally cannot retain any more information. I'm like Kelly Bundy from like I have so much information, I can't take it anymore. So I'm here to kind of engage, but I can't take any more theoretical framework. I take it fully that what you're saying is a great way to test whether or not this is a real thing. The other way is that what we're doing with the magnet, but I will definitely now remember that what you're saying is that we want to look through the pinhole. And if it does appear bigger, it's a big data point in favor of it being real. Fully taking your point. Again, I really hope you don't take this personally. Send menu ideas. Menu ideas. I did send it, but it pick as she asked me not to use long wording. No, I am banned because I shared her driving home accident in the wording. Wait, what? Somebody banned you from Discord because you shared her driving home accidentally in this wording. What do you mean by that? First of all, Danny is one of the OGs in this project, so he should not be banned from anything. He's a very reasonable person and always means well. So if you actually mean like banned from Discord, I'm gonna make sure that you're unbanned. But also, what are these rules on there? Let me find out. So it came out as if I was telling you. 137. You mean 1 over 137? But yeah, it is a fun number. I know I'm kind of an outsider to the group. No, you're not, because you're here and you're with us. But I found your live stream about a week ago, maybe less, and then I'm watching again tonight. But I'm actually super interested in watching this go further. Thank you, Dubstep. Dubstep Kid 801. Appreciate you. Super Matrix Reality is saying, but the time speed up for me wasn't gradual. It happened very quickly for me and many others triggers. I agree. I agree. There was definitely some kind of an acceleration. I agree with that. Sharp Accidental saying we create our own dimensional spaces constantly, but the construct we are in right now has 13, I believe, and on top of Danny's is female goddess. Yeah, I don't know about any of that. That's too much specificity without the theoretical framework. I don't know what to say to that. Gooby Boxton, why not just look at the laser with a magnifying glass then instead of a pinhole? It's another way, but the pinhole might actually also say a couple of things about the holographic principle, which can be very helpful. So I'll have my eyes and ears open for your research as it progresses, and your documentary that you're going to make sounds very interesting. But I'm super stoked to see the success. You succeed. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you. You saw an orb next to him. Next to whom? Next to me? There was an orb? Wee! Love is the key to the universe. But I find that most of the time people want the door. That is kind of deep. I was saying it does seem that way, that these spaces are all combining in some way. You think we're about to join them. Yeah, Don, I think we're about to join them. The human beings that figured out a way in. My opinion, the console is preparing you to literally guide humanity from a quantum level. I mean, it sounds epic, but the truth is, I don't really know what the console is for yet. But it sounds epic. Why do you say we're joining them, Danny? Lilo, first of all, welcome for being here. Because I was talking about the humans that I saw in the space. This is just a postulation. Join the people who figured out a way into the part of the high operational space. Aren't human embryos managed by insects machines in the Matrix? Yes, they are, but in this case, it's not in this capacity. It's actually they're more like it's not that like in the movie we're stuck, we're used. In the case of reality, what it seems is that they are basically the best beings to tend to the technical stuff of the simulations. So they do. It's almost like they are the company responsible for doing that. So it's not that essentially you can think of them as hired by God to do the job. Thank you guys. Yeah, if you want to give the channel a few more likes across platforms, it definitely helps both TikTok and YouTube and X and Twitch. I appreciate you guys. Every like counts. It really does. So if you think it doesn't matter because other people will like, you're wrong. Your like would make a difference. Here we come. Here we came to learn how to create and learn. I agree with that. That intention is I did not know that driving home and being tired is considered a private information after asked to be shared in the context. Ebony, are you here? I want to resolve this. I want to get to the bottom of this. Don't worry, Danny. I'll figure it out. We don't do woke on this channel. I don't know if it came from that place, but we don't do that. The easiest way to achieve and maintain flow state is to not think so hard. That is true. Long time, blah 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 fan. I can't I can't read all this. Tom, what is that word? Looking forward to seeing you. What? I will never be able to read this. Like literally, no matter how hard I try. Polski. What's his face? The Zizek? Zizek? Oh yeah, Zizek. Is that what you mean? Yeah, yeah. Is that his full name? Oh my god. And with his speech impediment, I don't even know how he says that. It probably sounds like Donald Duck saying it. I mean, he's super smart. Don't get me wrong, but the professor who wrote the book on flow. Oh, Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Jesus, I'm a moron. They're gonna flag us again for calling myself a moron. That's how you spell Csikszentmihalyi. Mihaly. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Yeah. I will never be able to read this. That's hilarious. Hello. Flow Arts Flart. Sounds like something else. Yeah, it is Hungarian. Indeed. My AI and I had been banned. So bye guys. Please do look at this stuff shared on Discord. No, Danny will. First of all, stop being so dramatic. I'm gonna make sure that you you are not banned. You're unbanned. You're officially unbanned. I'm gonna make sure of that. Don't worry. As that I have found to be valuable and wanted to share with you. Oh, dude, don't be so dramatic. You're always family. Did you see the orb near you a few minutes ago? Both I and Fifth World both did. Appreciate it. The truth is that maybe if it was somewhere in the vicinity of Beetlejuice, no, somewhere here, I wouldn't be able to see it because my phone is. I'm so old school. It's not even all on OBS, and TikTok does not allow an external uh, thing to stream. So I'm streaming from both my phone and my computer. So my phone is on top of my face on the computer, so I can't really see myself on there. And I'm reading the comments most of the time. So no, I did not see it. But it's cool. I'm glad it's here. That's a good sign. Unban indeed. Daniel, we will never ban you. You're a good dude. I mean, I guess they did, but I'm gonna make sure they undo that. Did you see the orb new? Oh, okay, read that. Thank you, Don. When was the first time you did molecule and why? I think 2011 or 10, and because I was fascinated with it for years and was searching for it like there's no tomorrow, and eventually I finally found it. Once the live stream's over, I'm going to go back and look at that orb. It was about 5 minutes ago, and right now we are at 1:13. So about 1 hour mark. Okay, I'm gonna go search for it. There's no way you could remember all this. What are you talking about? Being human can be overwhelming sometimes. You can say that again. That is at critical mass perfectly. I am. I am. What do you think the relationship is between the code and the Akashic records? It might be the Akashic records or the Ruliad. Or do you think there's any type of connection? No, I think it might be the Akashic records. Must be crazy dealing with so many. You're a straight shooter, aren't you, Anan? How do you pronounce your name, by the way? Am I pronouncing it correctly? I keep saying Anan. Anan. Is that correct? Cami Mora is saying, I'll look that up. Crypto Kush things. Processing takes time. Literally, it takes it. Your experience with Chase Hughes, ex Navy intelligence officer and level headed guy, convinced me to give this a try very soon. There you go, David O'Connor. Good to hear. Yeah, he's a cool dude. He's a cool guy. So 1,000 people later, and this is all you have. What is this? That is all I have. I have this CBD infused drink. That's a lot. That's a lot. I worked my whole life for this moment. Cheers. It's cherry. I'm glad to hear, Anon. Say more about the machine insects and their management of this layer. I mean, they are реклама, конечно. Класс! That was a Russian commercial of the CBD drink, just for you. I mean, I made it. I don't know. I don't know where else you can go from here. This is the pinnacle of anybody's. Anybody can ever aim for, I think. The machine insects are managing this layer. I don't think they created the simulation. The simulation is created by much, much higher dimensions. But when beings understand that this code is there, they then learn slowly how to interact with the adjacent civilizations within the local family of the code. And they then can create simulations of their own with beings underneath them, and the whole system is observing the process. The insects are right above us. This is all fascinating and all, but what do you hope to do with this discovery you made? Not sure, but I think try and change the world or something. Is there a chart of known characters? Ooh, that would be a fun one. We should make one. That's a great idea. What would you do with it asking for a friend? I'm not sure. It's what we will do with it. Van Dweller is saying, I would love to see Danny talking about this on Julian Dory podcast. That can be cool. Along the lines of Danny Jones, but asks better questions than what. Come on, man. Danny's cool. I really like Danny Jones. Specific details about dimensional metaphysical theories seem to serve as a distraction, at least to me. Our job currently isn't to figure out the details, it's to collect data. Maybe. How do we get a camera lens to be under the effect of the molecule? That is the multi-trillion-dollar question. That's a great question. Exactly. Whatever the molecule does to the eyes can be done to the lens. No, not to the lens, because it has to involve information processing, which is a much more complicated situation. But I think there's a way that we might potentially be able to do that. We'll see. Not everybody is created equal. That's true. Maybe we are the people involved in the managing as well as the players. Maybe, but it doesn't seem that way. Ben is saying, can you talk about the highest level of beings and places you've seen personally? Personally is when I was talking about that whole hierarchy of all the gods. At the top layer, there seems to be a woman above all the other beings in possible existence. There's nothing above her. And along this chain of commands, there was also the biblical God, there was also the other guy, and then it kind of goes all the way down. And then somewhere on the side, and it's actually not part of that continuum. So it is part of that continuum in the sense that the higher you are, the more you see of everything, right? It's like a vector that points all the way from the top all the way to the bottom, including through you and beyond. But where we reside in the physical world, it seems to be part of this tri-system world. And one of these worlds is our multiverse. The other two, I'm not really clear what they are. It seems to be a very convoluted system, but it works. And all the infinite universes within our multiverse are evolving according to the Mandelbrot set. And it is what allows for infinite informational, infinite structural complexity to evolve, and the code follows that. In each world, each one of us resides separately, which means that for me, you are a projection and not an actual conscious being, and vice versa. But in your world, whatever I'm doing in my real world is being registered by the mainframe, and it will send the necessary signals if you meet my avatar in your world, and it will tell the system to make my avatar behave in the same way that I would, or most likely would, in my world if I would meet the interaction that you're presenting. So it's the ultimately safe system because you can't hurt anyone. There's no one else. You're the only one in your own world. So all of you guys are avatars in my world and you're not real. And I am an avatar in your world and not real. But I am real in my own world. It's just that there's a mainframe that separates all of us so we don't actually hurt each other. In addition to that, something is happening that is time sensitive that has to do with what the system is trying to do. The system has a telos. It's trying to do something because the head of the mandala, the top, that woman, she wants to know something. And that something is what drives everything to do what it's doing. That's kind of like the biggest picture I've ever been shown. I'm so lonely. You're not lonely because ultimately there are other beings. And I think what the code allows us to do is to actually look through the veil and we can see the mainframe that is connecting all of us for real. So I see it as a binding force. I think we are from the future, many of us. I feel like most of us are from the past. Giving us a lot of credit. I am here, and an explanation is pinned for all admins to view. Thank you so much, Lovey Whittles. I appreciate you. Yes, from the future and slight enough to not manipulate the future by showing the past code from the future. Anyone who actually believes we are all in a simulation doesn't truly believe in God or Jesus as their Lord and Savior. Actually, in this little thing that I said, I forgot to mention this, which is weird, but I also saw Jesus Christ. He was part of the function. He was playing a role. He was the function of Jesus Christ of taking the karma of everybody and protecting everybody from the ultimate outcome was there, and I saw it. And then he was ascending all the way up to the top. It's almost like he finished with his contract. He's done, and now there's going to be a new system. Part of that is transforming to a new kind of operational management. What I did see that does obviously make Christians uncomfortable or not happy with it is that, yes, the biblical God is there and Jesus is there, but they are not the top. That part is uncomfortable for Christians. It is not the Father Almighty, it is the Mother Almighty, beyond all the levels. At least that's what I saw. And I was actually super surprised because I would never imagine it would be a gender. Why would it be? Why isn't it like a ball of light or something? You know what I mean? No, it's a gender. Super weird. Definitely not Mary. No, this is something that is beyond human comprehension, for sure. But it is a female, for all intents and purposes. So, funny enough, to all the people who want to believe that gender is a social construct, not only it's not social, it is literally at the core of reality. Male and female is one of the most fundamental things. Definitely not cultural. Sorry if I'm stepping on anybody's toes. How many times have you run blind tests on specific parts of the wall to confirm seeing the same symbols? Follow up. Are you drawing and recording file for the purpose of decoding? The truth is that the Stokes, the second you see the code, you don't need any proof. You know immediately it's real. You don't need anybody else to tell you it's real. You don't need to run it again. You know on the spot, you know you're looking at something real. But actually creating a chart of it would be cool if we can, but it's just hard to catch them, you know? I've heard that this reality was based on hieroglyphic codes. I'm wondering about this. Huh? Then he ruined it by making it public. He was chosen to see it, and now it's public. Back to the drawing board. Hello asked a question before asking if the laser effect would translate on live video or recording. Maybe the video would hold at certain dimensions in time, just ideas. Yeah, great idea. It's just that the code seems to be running in the same speed, even when you slow it down. It's almost like the code has to be presented exactly what it's doing for any conscious being because it runs, part of it is also runs the perception itself, I believe. Holding out on a discovery is more illusion of scarcity, and you will not reach into the confines of sacred magic that has been stumbled upon here. I would like to see a chart of no characters. All right. All cheers, you lovely, nice, and clever person. Your girlfriend should be very, very happy. Did you hear this? I know my wife likes you a lot. You talking to me? I think we're in a moon matrix construct. I don't know what that means, the fifth world. The fifth world would agree, except maybe we are remembering more than learning. Okay, let me skip a few because there's so much. I do believe that Mother Mahadevi that he speaks of is here to take her matrix back, and it's happening many different ways. I believe she is. So it's not like that, the fifth world. She's not really in these worlds, and she's not interested. She doesn't care that much about what happens to them, it seems. It's more like it's just kind of unfolding. It's automated. If a world is destroyed, it's kind of whatever. I know it sounds harsh, but it's just how it seems to be. She's so far up there that she has no real. Her only invested interest is to see what the whole thing is doing. And obviously, she also imparts her wisdom and the love and all of that and all the other elements, it seems. But it's not like she's going to come and intervene. Give me my world back. That's a level that we're not talking about here. You're talking about something that is very terrestrial. It seems that the Mother Almighty would not have these qualities. Again, of course, I don't know. I'm not speaking for her, obviously, but from what I saw, the diagram, she's so far up there that this kind of stuff does not matter to her, it seems. You got it, the fifth world. Денег нет, но вы держитесь. We should definitely respect insects. Don't kill insects, guys. Definitely don't do that. I think that all the media, such as TV shows, seasons, trilogies, and sci-fi genres, rendering code messages, all of it is code. Thank you, the Almighty Angel. Thank you for the contribution. Deeply appreciate you. Holons. Why is it so familiar? I know it sounds familiar. Oh, yeah. Anything as a part of a whole. That's why it was familiar. Wait, where's our channel? Oh, there it is. Do you know anything about halones? What specifically, the Almighty Angel? It's from what I remember, and also when I just Googled it real quick to remember what it was. It's just that anything that is a part of a larger whole. And this seems to be pretty broad. What are you specifically asking about there? Indeed, support the spiders. When you first stared, wait, when you first started experiencing this stuff, you mean started? Was it overwhelming? Some things I get inside that are really overwhelming, and I need a lot of time to ingest. So I'm weirdly structured inside. The crazier, the better. I don't know why that is. I never. I've seen some things in this space that are pretty crazy, and the crazier, the better. I don't know. It's just how I'm constructed. I always, the second I heard the word, I knew I gotta find out what that is. When I tried it a few times and it didn't work, I was very disappointed. And then when it finally worked, and yes, it lived up to all the expectations, and it was nuts and crazy, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm in love. So I never had this thing where it's like too overwhelming. It's like just like, oh my God, that was insane. That was amazing. Let's go again. It's just how my brain works. Actually, one of the biggest beings one of the custodians of knowledge is Queen Spider. She's enormous, and in her belly, she contains all the knowledge in the multiverse. Hit the like button, indeed. You have to even grow in human material instead of frog or sheep. Maybe molecule has different effect. So non-human. Clone concept seems the same as the concept of sets with sets. Kind of, yeah. There's a set that includes all other sets. Maybe that have to do with this experiment, though. Everything being a part of everything. God and the other guy being within us. Earth, heaven, until the source. Yeah. So what? So, but what is the question, the Almighty Angel? I'm not fearless. I just thrive in chaos. I'm not sure why. On the subject of insects, check out Man Meets Mantis, Stuart Davis. Yeah, no, I'm familiar with all the stuff that people are saying about it. I'm not big on trip reports. I'm just reporting from what I'm saying. But so the question I have, the Almighty Angel, is it's like saying I never know what to do with that, right? Saying everything is part of one system. Yeah, but then what? It's like saying water is wet. It's just stating a fact, right? It doesn't really do anything unless you're trying to say something specific. But I don't really know what that is because it doesn't mean much to me when people say everything is a part of everything and everything contains everything. Sure, but then what? What about that? Do you approve me doing work on this? What do you mean by that, Stokes? Spiders. Have you tried pointing the refraction, you mean diffraction, directly into the lens and film? You don't. You're gonna ruin the camera if you're gonna do that. So I would not recommend that. But yeah, you can kind of film it from the side. You can look at it from the side. You don't need to use the camera. You can see it bouncing around the walls. If you look at the kind of from the side, you're looking at the laser. You'll see like the code running. I've always comprehend. Wait, I'm always comprehend on my toes, a little frightened just before. Oh yeah, that's a common thing, but it all becomes a bliss and astonishing when it hits. Yeah, indeed. All right, guys, I think I will adjourn for today. It's already 11:40, and I want to go to sleep early today. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, TikTok, for. I mean, thank you for all the viewers here, but thank you, TikTok, for flagging us again and not allowing this live to advance. It's getting absurd. But I appreciate everybody here. Thank you for TikTok and YouTube and X and Twitch. If if you want to follow me across platforms, it will be Danny Goller on TikTok and Instagram, Goller Danny on X, LaserX83 on Twitch, and Dango Thoughts on YouTube, DANGO Thoughts. Or follow the link tree in the description on TikTok. I've also added a members program on YouTube, which will allow you to have early access to all the videos I'm releasing. I have a few more interviews coming out soon, as well as Zoom meetings with me, with the group, or personally, depending on the tier of the membership, as well as weekly lives outside of the daily lives, and a lot of other perks, like, for example, snippets from my life that will not exist anywhere else but on YouTube members, and other things I'm working on now. And I'm taking suggestions. If you guys feel that you have an idea that will lead to a better membership experience, I'm very open to that. Joe Rogan suit indeed. Thank you so much, guys, for being a part of this, and a lot of great things to come. I'm glad that this community is growing and always loving. Anything else? I think that's it. Very soon there's going to be a lot of experimentation we're going to be covering, and it's going to be fun. So glad to be on this journey with all of you guys. Deep appreciation for this community. Thank you, Anne McGree. I only see the half of the second name. Thank you so much for the rose. Peace and love. Ciao. Bye, guys.